Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. And in today's video, we're going to be talking through 3 of my favorite plays for prize picks for today's slate, Friday, March the 11th. We do have a bigger slate tonight, 10 games, so there are plenty of props available. And at the time I'm making this video on Friday, around 12:30 Eastern, most of the board has been posted. Most of the teams are already up. There's still some teams we're waiting on some news from, so we'll probably get those later in the day. But I do have 3 picks I do like at first look that I will share in this video. Just to recap, yesterday for Thursday, we did go 1-1 on the 2 picks we gave out. Sadly, that Brooklyn-Philly game just turned into a massive blowout, even though it had like a 3-point spread. Freaking, Philly just, I don't know, they just weren't ready to play or what happened, but they lost by like 30. KD did go over his PRA pretty easily. KD had a really good game. On the other hand, James Harden, once again, the second time I've taken James Harden's assist the last like 5 games, he's gone under both the times I've taken his assist. So I don't know what it is, but every time I take James Harden's assist, he just doesn't hit. So that was unfortunate. We went 1-1 yesterday, but today I got 3 picks that I like, and hopefully we can go 3-0 on this big Friday night slate, win some money before the weekend. So before we get started, guys, please hit the like button down below. I always appreciate the likes. If you're new to the channel, you have not yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. We are on the road to 25,000 subscribers, and hopefully we'll hit that milestone maybe by the end of March. Ever since I started making these Prizepicks videos, we've had a lot of new subscribers come to the channel, so appreciate all you guys that have checked out the video. And if you are new to Prizepicks and you want to actually sign up over there, make sure you sign up and use code NOAH, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100. So if you bet player props on any other site, whether it's any other DFS site, or if you bet on a sports book and you want to give Prizepicks a try, you can sign up with my promo code, and they will match your first deposit up to $100. But yeah, guys, let's take a look at Friday night slate. We're going to start off with the PRA category. So I got 1 PRA pick that I like, and then I have 2 points props that I like. So first off, in the PRA category, we're going to go all the way down to one of the later games. We're going to talk about Devin Booker over 35.5 points, rebounds, assists. This is a prop that I've been on pretty much every game without Chris Paul, and Devin Booker has pretty much hit it every game without Chris Paul. So you look over his last 5 games. The game against on February 20th, that was the All-Star game, so I'm not going to look at that. These last 4 games were all after the All-Star break, and since Chris Paul's been injured. So against OKC, 42 points, rebounds, assists for Devin Booker, 38 against the Pelicans, 44 against Utah, and 40 last game against Miami. 3 of these games were without Cameron Payne. We obviously saw Booker and Payne play together in their last game against Miami, and Booker still went over his PRA. He didn't take a ton of shots last game, but he still was able to contribute with rebounds and assists. Finished with 23 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. Devin Booker, without Chris Paul, he's got really good numbers. Obviously, this is Booker's team whenever CP3's out. And on the season, with CP3 off the floor and Cam Johnson off the floor, because, Cam Johnson's out right now, I wanted to take him off the floor as well. Booker's played 245 minutes this season with those guys off the floor. He's got a 34% usage rate. He's averaging close to 30 points per 36. He's averaging around 6 rebounds and 6 assists per 36. So in the 245 minutes he's played without Cam Johnson and Chris Paul, he's averaging around 42 points, rebounds, assists per 36. And we know Booker's going to play probably 36 minutes, if not more than that. I mean, last game he played 33. That was his first game back from COVID protocols, and it was a little bit of a blowout. I think he got pulled with like 2 or 3 minutes left. So if this game stays close, I think we're getting 36, maybe even close to 40 minutes from Devin Booker. We've seen Monty Williams is totally fine running Booker for 40 minutes. It should be a close game against the Raptors. I think the spread right now is like 5 points. So yeah, if we get 40 minutes from Devin Booker tonight, with how much he can contribute in all categories, with how many shots he should take with CP3 off the floor, obviously his assist numbers should be good. Even last game, playing with Cameron Payne, Devin Booker still had 9 assists. So I think you could take over on 25 points. That was his points prop today is at 25. I think you could take that too. Even his assists, he still did go over his assists last game playing alongside Cameron Payne, and he's gone over his assist in 3 of the 4 games without Chris Paul. I like all those props, but I think for the safety, we're going to take PRA, so that way, even if Booker doesn't have a great scoring game, maybe he can get 7, 8 assists, 6, 7 rebounds, and go over his PRA. So I like over on most of his props today, but I'm just going to take PRA for the sake of this video. 36 points, rebounds, assists, I feel is pretty doable for Devin Booker here. And honestly, with how good of a scorer he is, like, nobody would be surprised if he hit that just from points alone. He can have those type of games. So definitely like that prop for Devin Booker today. I feel like that line is still a little bit too low, given that he's gone over that and basically every game without Chris Paul over their last 4. And then 2 points props that I like today. We're going to start off with the Clippers, a team that I literally probably my least favorite team to bet on. I hate rostering Clippers players. I hate taking Clippers props. Anytime I do, I feel like I never win. But, man, over 14.5 points for Marcus Morris looks really appealing today. So you can take a look at his last 5 games. He crushed this prop last game against Washington, scored 27 points. Went over that against Houston as well, scored 18 points. The reason I hate rostering Clippers players and taking their props is just because we've seen their rotations just be so out of whack. Like, some games they'll play Marcus Morris and the rest of the starters big minutes. Some games, if the starters don't come out playing well and the bench plays really well, we'll see the bench guys play a lot of minutes, like Luke Kennard and Terrence Mann's been coming off the bench. Amir Coffey, those guys, like, they'll play a lot of minutes. Over his last 5 games, last game against Washington, that was the first game that Morris had a clipped 30 minutes. He played 35 minutes. The games before that against Golden State, he only played 23. Kind of was a blowout. They lost by 15. Against the Knicks, they got blown out. They lost by 23. He only played 23 minutes. Against the Lakers, they won by 21. He played 21 minutes in that game. And then the game against Houston, he played 28 minutes. But I want to say that if this game is close and Morris is playing well, he's going to get probably 30 to 35 minutes. Last game, the Clippers actually did run an 8-man rotation. Now, are they going to run an 8-man rotation again tonight? I don't know. Like, we've just seen Ty Lue's rotations be so out of whack. I mean, again, he likes to ride the hot hand. Whoever's playing well, that's who he'll give the minutes to. But I think if Marcus Morris comes out here, plays well, I mean, getting 15 points is easily doable for him because you can take a look at his numbers this season with Paul George off the floor, Eric Bledsoe out off the floor, who's no longer on the team, and then Norman Powell, who's out right now as well. You take all those guys off the floor. I mean, Marcus Morris has a 24.4% usage rate, which is the second highest on the team behind Reggie Jackson, and he's averaging 19 points per 36 in the 734 minutes he's played without those guys on the floor. I think getting 15 points is pretty easy for Marcus Morris if he can play well and get the minutes. Now, after the night's over and I check the box score, or I probably won't even check the box score because I'll be watching the game, but if I were to not look at the game and then just check after the night's over and see that Marcus Morris played 22 minutes, like, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think if he does play, close to 35 minutes again like he did last game, he's going to easily get us 15 points. I think this is just too low of a line. I think the line makes sense just because Morris has been so inconsistent this season. You can't project him super high because then everyone would just bet his under. But I feel like 14.5 is too low if we get the minutes again. Now, that's the big if. We don't know what Ty Lue's going to do. But if Ty Lue runs an 8-man rotation again like he did last game, I think we'll get 30 minutes, 35 minutes from Marcus Morris. And scoring 15 points is pretty doable for him because he's a guy that when he's out there, he's going to shoot, he's going to take shots. And obviously got the second highest usage rate on the team with Paul George off the floor. So I definitely like over 14.5 points for Marcus Morris today. And then the third and final prop I'm going to share in this video, also in the points category, coming from the Pelicans, a team that's going to be really shorthanded today. No CJ McCollum, no Brandon Ingram. I'm liking over 12.5 points for Herbert Jones. Now, Herbert Jones has only hit this prop in 2 out of his last 5 games. He hit it last game against Orlando, hit it against Sacramento. But a couple things that make this prop stand out. First off is obviously how shorthanded the Pelicans are going to be without CJ McCollum and without Brandon Ingram. But if you actually look over his last 5 games, like, some of these games were blowouts. The game against Memphis was a blowout. He only played 24 minutes. The game against Utah was a blowout. He only played 27 minutes. Game against Sacramento, he played 32 minutes, and he hit this prop. Last game against Orlando, only played 27 minutes, but he fouled out in 27 minutes. He still hit this prop. Like, the line really didn't go up a ton, even with McCollum and Ingram out. Normally, Herb Jones, his points projection is around 12.5, so they didn't really give him a big boost, but they did bump up not CJ McCollum, but Devontae Graham's projections a lot. They bumped it up J-Val's projections a lot, but they didn't really give much of a boost to Herb Jones. I think Herb Jones, he'll have the opportunity to definitely take on much more of an offensive role without Ingram and McCollum. I mean, you can look at like who the Pelicans are going to put around Herb Jones, Ingram, or Herb Jones, Graham, J-Val. Like, it's going to be Tony Snell out there. It's going to be Garrett Temple. Like, these guys are not going to demand the ball. They're not going to take shots. They're just going to stand in the corner. Like, Garrett Temple and Tony Snell are both very, very low usage players. So I think this Pelicans offense is going to run through J-Val, Devontae Graham, and Herb Jones, and these should be the guys taking all the shots, doing most of the heavy lifting. It's a really good matchup against Charlotte. We know Charlotte plays fast. They're a team I've always targeted this season. And you can take a look at the usage this season for the Pelicans. So taking McCollum and Ingram off the floor, along with Josh Hart, who's no longer on the team, and NAW, a high usage player who's no longer on the team as well. Herb Jones has played around 100 minutes with those guys off the floor. 20% usage rate, which is very solid. He's averaging 15 points per 36. Again, it's kind of a small sample size. We haven't seen the Pelicans play many minutes with all these guys out, but I think we kind of know what it's going to look like. It should be a lot of Herb Jones, a lot of J-Val, a lot of Devontae Graham. Those should be the guys taking most of the shots because, like I said, you look at the other guys on this Pelicans roster, and especially who they're going to start alongside J-Val, Graham, Herb Jones. It's going to be Garrett Temple out there, Tony Snell. Like, these guys just aren't aggressive offensive players. Jose Alvarado is he's a passer. He's a guy that will facilitate. I mean, yeah, like it's just going to be a lot of these three guys. And I think Herb Jones getting 13 points is easily doable. He should be more aggressive offensively tonight. Should take more shots. He's a good three-point shooter. He can drive to the basket. The matchup's fantastic. I like over 12.5 points. I think you could take PRA as well because he can get some rebounds, and I could definitely see him getting there, getting a lot of rebounds and hitting his PRA. But for the sake of this video, we're going to take over 12.5 points as our third and final pick for Herb Jones. That's our third and final pick in this video. So 3 picks today, over 35.5 points, rebounds, assists for Devin Booker, over 14.5 points for Marcus Morris, and over 12.5 points for Herbert Jones. Our 3 picks for today. Hopefully we can go 3-0 tonight, make some money on this Friday night slate. As always, guys, I appreciate you watching the video. I wish you the best of luck tonight. If you enjoy, hit that like button down below, guys. Hit that subscribe button as well if you have not yet. And again, if you're new to Prizepicks, you want to sign up, you can sign up and use my promo code Noah. They'll match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my code. But best of luck tonight, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.